An 89X Sports presentation.
Tyler makes one-man miss, takes the step back, three, knocks it down! Trayvon Tyler ties the ball game here with 7 seconds remaining. 78 all. Double teaming now for Trayvon Tyler as he gets it right back, up and under move, and gets it to go. Wow. Right there. That is now the 1,000th point in his career. The Lynx pull out the win on the road, 77-74 here in this one, and boy, was that a show here in Davenport, Iowa. Yeah, we got OD, baby, in Indiana Northwest. Give and go with Johnson to Powell yet again, and he's going to slam it home one more time. And once again, Julian Powell, basically a dunk fest here in this one.
Lincoln College basketball on 89X is made possible by Grau Chevrolet Buick, ME Realty, and by the State Bank of Lincoln.
Hi, and welcome to Lincoln Christian University, where we are set to go here for the doubleheader, our first doubleheader action coming your way here on 89X this season, where your Lady Lynx will lead us off against the Lady Red Lions, who come in 2-10 on the season. Your Lady Lynx looking to improve to a 3-game winning streak as they are 8-6 coming into play. And like I mentioned, they played over the weekend, Friday and Saturday over in Missouri at Cotty College in a little bit of a round robin right there. And boy, was it a good one for this Lady Lynx squad. Not only did they pick up 2 wins, they were pretty handedly good wins as well. Your Lynx won the first game 121-37. Everybody scored over double digits except for Kennedy Lawling, who had 9. Awfully close there in that one. She was very close. She would have been, if she could have had one more point, she would have been, all the Lady Lynx would have been in double figures in that ball game. But for the last game, coming off another win against Cotty College back on Saturday, they won 92-70 in that ball game. Kalia Montero and Aaron Young both with 19 points, almost a double-double for the both of them. Montero had 19 points, 9 rebounds, and a steal on 8 of 14 shooting, 3 of 4 from the field or from the line. As Aaron Young, 19 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 7 steals on the night. Good for 7 for 30 from the field. Only 1 of 6, though, from behind the arc, but again, didn't need to hit very many of those because the rest of the team did their job as well. Tia Clark had a good game as well. She had 17 points in that ball game, along with 3 threes, 5 for 17 from the field in that concept. Perfect from the line as well, 4 of 4. Even Hannah Cameron as well, almost a double-double for her. 12 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals on the night, and only missed 1 shot throughout the entire ball game. 5 of 6 shooting from the field, 2 of 3 from the three-point line. Again, the Lynx did well in that ball game. Like I said, over the weekend, both games went their way. I'm looking to see how they fare here in this one because I know a lot of people say, oh, well, don't look at the overall records. Well, the records don't do this team a lot of justice. This is a very good Lady Lynx team. The only key thing is their turnovers, and it's a key factors that we'll get to in a couple moments. But like I said, if they could keep the turnovers down to a minimum, this is a very dangerous Lynx team. They have the talent, they have scoring, they have depth. They just need to kind of put it all together. We'll see if they can do that. Looking at some of the team comparisons, though, it all favors Lincoln in a variety of ways. One thing, though, for this LCU team, they're going to have to score the basketball tonight if they want to keep up with this Lady Lynx team. I know the Lynx have their fair share of turnovers and things like that, but like I said, this is still a Lynx team that comes in averaging 82 points in a ball game just to LCU's 46. So the Lynx or the Red Lions are going to have to score and keep pace with these Lady Lynx here this afternoon or tonight if they want to have a chance and stay in this ball game. And like I said, it's rivalry week. You think on paper that Lynx should run away with this, but don't count out the Red Lions here on their home floor. They will make you pay. We saw it last season. We'll have more of that as this series for the Lady Lynx is tied at 1 apiece. We saw these two teams met last season, and LCU got the better of the Lynx on their home floor the first time around in that ballgame, 82-76. Over in the Jack D. Nutt Arena, but the Lady Lynx came right back and won here that season as well, back on February 5th of 2019, where your Lynx stole one right here in the Laughing Arena as, again, they won 82-68 in that ball game. So both teams, it seems like if you score 82 points, you're going to get the win. Well, good news for the Lynx, they average 82 points. So we will see if they can pull it out again here today. We will take a quick break, but when we come back, we will have the national anthem and the starting lineups coming your way right here on 89X. So don't go anywhere as you're listening to Lady Lynx basketball right here on WLNX.
Jill, why don't you tell the class what you did this weekend?
Well, my dad and I went in search of some magical minnows and found a zillion of them in the stream from our lookout rock. Then my sister and I escaped from an evil slug king and went back to my super twig fort for safety. Then we told stories till it got dark, and the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Where were you, Jill?
We went to the forest. It's not that far away.
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
This is 89X WLNX Lincoln, a Lincoln College station.
My boyfriend can't stop drinking until he drinks too much. A friend suggested Al-Anon family groups. She said there are no dues or fees. At first, I was afraid to go to Al-Anon. I felt like a fool to care about somebody who can't stop drinking. But Al-Anon members know exactly how I feel. Is someone's drinking troubling you? You might be surprised at what you can learn in an Al-Anon family group from people just like you. Call 1-888-4-AL-ANON or go to alanon.org.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Getting support from friends online kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
Instead of smoking after I ate, I'd get up and take a walk.
I missed having a cigarette in my hand, so I'd hold a pen or a straw, anything.
Until I knew I wouldn't give in to temptation, I spent more time with my friends who didn't smoke.
I went to places that were smoke-free.
I didn't stay quit the very first time I tried.
I kept on trying, and I learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
I quit.
I quit.
I quit.
We did it, so can you.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and CDC.
Hey.
Hi, nice neighborhood. You must have a strong community association board.
I don't pay any attention to that stuff.
How do you know the board and community manager are making the right decisions?
I don't, but what can I do?
Connect with CAI.
CA what?
CAI, Community Associations Institute. They're a nonprofit group with free resources for your board, training for community managers, and information for homeowners.
Protect your investment at responsiblecommunities.com.
And we are live here at LCU as, again, we're set for the starting lineups coming your way as promised. First for your visiting Lynx on the scoreboard. Not much has changed for her, for Coach Crawford's squad, as Tia Clark, the senior out of Indianapolis, gets the start. She'll be wearing number 4. Lynx are in the road black uniforms, followed by the again, local hero here for this Lady Lynx squad, the Hannah Cameron, number 10, the senior out of Lincoln, Illinois, followed by the double machine, number 12, the junior out of Rockford, Kalia Montero, and then the player of the week named in the Independence Conference, number 15, Aaron Young, the senior out of Indianapolis, followed by Imani Smith, who will wear number 21, another senior out of Indianapolis. But congratulations to Aaron Young on being named player of the week in the Independent Conference. And for LCU, the Red Lions, it will be number 12, the senior from Peoria, Kenzie Schlipf, followed by number 21, Audrey Henningsen, the sophomore out of Williamsport, Tennessee, followed by number 24, a freshman out of Farmer City, Illinois, Rebecca Kilpatrick, followed by number 32, the junior out of Chillicothe, Illinois, who leads the team in scoring. Along with Watson, it will be Michaela Smith, the junior, followed by number 40, the sophomore out of Springfield, Illinois. It will be Bella Jones rounding it out here for the LCU. Again, they are in the home white uniforms. Your Lynx in the road black uniforms. as well. We are getting set to go here for rivalry week, or rivalry night, I guess I should say, between these two Lincoln schools. As we are set to go, Young does win the tip, and the Lynx will have the first possession here as they get it right down low to Montero. Good find by Smith. She can't hit. Ball's loose on the floor, and it's into the hands of Jones for LC now. Still tipped away. It finds Cameron, and Cameron will lay it up and in on the left side. So the Lynx on the board first here, 2-0 as they come out in a full court press already in this ball game. Just trying to break the press right there is Smith, trying to give and go, I believe, down low to Henningsen, who had the baseline, but kicks it back out to the top of the key. Now over to Smith. She'll take a three from the right wing. No good. Gets her own miss, though, trying to go back up with it, though, blocked by Young. Now that one poked away. Ball's loose still on the floor. Comes up with it is Henningsen, and then she is fouled, I believe, in the act of shooting as well. So she will go to the line for 2 opportunities to try to tie this ball game up here at 2. And here comes Kennedy Lawling already into the ball game for Kalia Montero. Quick substitutions here, but real quick, the key factors for tonight's contest I have written down. I have less turnovers. It'd be a matter of see who can turn the ball over the least amount of times. Both teams coming in and averaging 23-plus turnovers in a ball game. So the Lynx and this Red Lions team, it's basically who wins the turnover battle, I think, will win this ball game. The least amount of turnovers will win. The Lynx did a good job in the last game. They only had 21, but they also had 18 assists and 21 steals in that ball game to go along with it. So it kind of evened each other out as she doesn't hit a pair, misses both of them, and the Lynx, along with Young, have the rebound. Here she comes now, driving in, right side lane, kicks it out to Smith on the right wing. She'll take a jumper just inside the three-point line. No good. Ball still tipped, and Smith trying to keep it alive, but it was tipped out of bounds. And I thought it was off of LCU, but they rule it in favor and off of Smith, so it'll go to LCU. Still 2-0 lead for your Lady Lynx as they're going to go back to this full court press. LCU now just still trying to get it across midcourt. They have not yet. Now they will, as Henningsen was there. Smith now with it, just inside the three-point line. A jumper from the right wing. No. Lawling pulls down a board right there. As here come the Lynx now back on the fast break. Young trying to drive in, right side lane, puts the shot up. It looks like it was a very contested shot. Might have got a piece, was LCU, and it's going the other way. Didn't get to the rim. Still 2-0 here. 8.5 minutes still to be played in this first quarter. Now, Henningsen trying to drive in, right side lane, trying to feed Smith down low, but stolen away by Amani Smith, finding Lawling running the floor, and she'll lay it up and in. Kennedy Lawling on the scoreboard this time, and it's 4-0 thanks to the 2 local heroes for Lincoln. First by Cameron and then Lawling. Now Lawling comes up with a steal right there on the fast break opportunity as Young has it with it at the top of the key over to Smith from the left side corner. She'll set her feet and take the 3 and knocks it down. Amani Smith with a 3 from the corner, and it's 7-0 Lincoln. As the guys team just showed up. We knew that it was going to be a factor here. Just started underway here in this one. Now Lawling comes up with another steal right there as LCU almost couldn't get it across midcourt. Clark with it, the no-look pass to Smith. She'll try the right side corner this time, and she hits it again. Amani Smith 2 for 2 from both corners, and it's 10-0 Lincoln here out in front early, and it's already a timeout taken by LCU. And Christian Lowry wants to talk things over as he does not like what he's seeing so far in this ballgame. It was a good start in the first 2 minutes for this Lady Lynx squad. I mentioned Smith having 2 big threes from both corners. The Lynx coming out red hot, at least from the field. That press has a lot to do with it, if I may add, and Lawling with a pair of steals as well. As, again, we saw this Lynx team, that's really with their bread and butter. They don't really have a whole lot of set plays. They like to run and gun. They like to kind of be that fast type of up-tempo offense. And like I said, that leads me to my next factor is the other key factor is staying out of foul trouble. I know Montero and Young both having issues with trying to keep things under control down low. They both seem like they have about 4 fouls apiece at the end of each and every game. So I think if those two can stay out of foul trouble, I would see this game being a pretty breeze for those guys, as our guys team once again just showed up here. And LCU with the basketball coming out of the timeout as they do get it across half court. They're still looking to get on the scoreboard, though, however, as a 3 taken right there by Schilp. And she knocks it through, so LCU finally on the board. It's 10-3, 7.5 to play as Smith trying to drive in, but was fouled. So they'll say it was on the floor. Lynx will inbound right here underneath their own basket. That's the team's first, though. However, didn't see who the foul went on. Still, both teams with one team foul apiece. They throw it into Young, and with a step-back jumper from the top of the key, no good. Just off the front of the rim. Good shot from Young, just couldn't get it to fall. Lynx coming back the other way on the defensive side of things as Smith running the floor for LCU. As Schilf now with it to the top of the key now for Kilpatrick. Back to Smith with it at the top of the key, guarded by Lawling. Trying to drive in, left side lane. Gives it to Jones. She'll take the jumper from the baseline. No good. A little off there, but an offensive rebound. Didn't hit the rim, though, however, as that was Henningsen. Now Jones with 5 seconds on the shot clock to Smith. She'll drive baseline up and under move. No good. Rejected by the rim and pulled down by Young with a baseball pass now to Clark. Bounce pass one to Smith. Running the floor with her, and then she's fouled in the act of shooting as well. So Smith will go to the line now for 2 opportunities. And Smith, after having herself a nice game in Cotty College over there, she had 12 points, 4 rebounds, 5 steals, and 2 assists on 4 of 15, shooting 4 of 9 from the three-point line. Trying to get herself a good start here. She's got 7 after the made free throw. Does have one more free throw to go, though, however. As Smith's second one up and in as well. Smith, a very good free throw shooter. We saw her stats as well. We knew she's capable. I know she was at 85% at one point, almost leading the nation in the top 10 for sure, as there comes that full court press yet again. As Jones with it, still not across midcourt. They finally get it to Schilf. She does break the midcourt, but now that one overthrown, but still now finds Jones at the top of the key. Back down low to Henningsen, and she'll lay it up and in on the right side. Lynx so far trying to get the basketball on that press that they didn't see anybody down low, and LCU got an easy 2 as Clark trying to drive baseline with a floater, no good, but Montero's there for the rebound and put back. So Montero into the scoring column now as it's 14-5. Smith trying to go coast to coast. Looked like she was blocked by Young trying to drive inside the paint. Young with a baseball pass across the court. Had Montero running the floor. Montero was going to let it go. Instead, she saw Schlimp running the floor. She had to grab it and lays it up and in. And now that one, no good, off the back of the backboard, trying to inbound it underneath their own basket. And it'll be out of bounds. It'll go to Lincoln. I don't know what kind of pass that was. I've never seen anything like that before. Henningsen trying to throw it in, hits the back of the backboard, and it goes out of bounds. To give the ball right back to the Lynx underneath their own basket. They throw it into Lawling on the right side corner for 3. No good, too strong. Good look there from Lawling. Fortunately, though, it was into the hands of LCU, and then Kia Clark on the other end steals it right away from Henningsen. She wasn't paying attention, and the Lynx coming back the other way. So far in the first 5 minutes, it has been all Lincoln College here in rivalry week. Lawling now with it on the right wing to the top of the key in Young. Swinging around for Gines, who just checked into the ball game for Cameron. Clark trying to get it down low to Montero, but stolen away by LCU, and Henningsen got a hand on it. Smith now with it. Gets it across half court. The Lynx do back off on the press. They bounce past one to Jones at the top of the key, handing it off to Henningsen, and she'll drive left side lane and lay it up and in. Seems like what was working well for the Lynx has kind of got LCU on the scoreboard. They've kind of taken advantage of what they've seen. Now Coach Crawford will take a timeout here as well, a 30-second timeout. 16-7 now the score as LCU trying to call their way back into it. As once again, this is a Lady Lynx team that I myself have not seen a whole lot of, but from the games that we have seen, they have played extremely well. And really the only key thing I can really kind of focus on here is staying out of foul trouble. And like you said, the last factor that I know we haven't got to it yet is I think they got to keep getting a hand in Michaela Smith's face. I think you have to guard her. She's really the big threat here for LCU. Again, coming in averaging 15 points a game, 5 rebounds as well. Watson as well, 15 points, 10 rebounds. She's averaging a double-double, but I did not see her dressed here in this contest, so it should be interesting to see. They have not played with Watson. I don't know if she is hurt or what, but not in the ball game, or not dressed either as well. So it should be interesting to see. 16-7 now the score, 5 minutes into this first half as they feed Montero down low. Good find there from Cameron. Montero can't hit, but gets her own miss and put back up and in. So 18-7 now the score as we're still in this first quarter of play. As here they go. LCU finally breaks the press and gets it across midcourt. We'll see if they can get a shot out of it as Michaela Smith in the ball game. Smith now with it. Over to Smith. She also can hit the three from time to time, as Smith with it right now. At the top of the key, going back to Michaela Smith on the other end for number 32. There's two Michaela Smiths on LCU, so we'll have Michaela Smith number 10 and Michaela Smith number 32. As she cannot hit. 18-7 now the score. Lynx with the basketball, looking to add to it. Walling with it on the right wing, takes the jumper, trying to use the backboard, cannot. Cameron right there, nobody boxed her out, and she'll lay it up and in. Cameron now has 4 points on the night. It's 20-7. Here comes LCU, gets it across half court. Jones trying to feed, I believe that was Smith running the floor. No, it was Kilpatrick who couldn't get the easy layup to go on the left side. Pulled down by the Lynx. And we're going back the other way. Another one-and-done opportunity for LCU. Clark trying to drive in. Left side lane kicks it out to Cameron. Cameron from the left wing from downtown. No. Trying to get her own miss, but then I believe is going to be called for over the back right there. As I believe she went over Michaela Smith just a hair. The junior out of Effingham already had some words in this ballgame. We know Hannah Cameron not afraid to push back, as she has that aggressive mentality towards her. I've talked to her dad a time or two before, Tony Cameron, and he has told me that Hannah is not like some of the other of his other daughters, where she is very more aggressive than usual. She likes that whole trying to body her up and things of that nature. So we'll see if it pays off for her here this afternoon. And so far it has, as now that one lost out of bounds by Smith, number 32, the junior out of Chillicothe, as it's going the opposite direction. So we have two Michaela Smiths, like I said, on the floor at the same time. One's wearing number 10 and one's wearing number 32, both on the same team, ironically enough. Here comes Clark now with it for the Lady Lynx. She'll hand it off to Lawling as she goes towards the top of the key. 20-7 our score. Young with it now on the right wing. Thinks about driving baseline. She does. Bodies her up with Jones. Cannot get that one to go. Montero with the offensive rebound. Put back. No. Young with that rebound. She puts up a floater. And finally, the Lynx, for the third time's a charm, will lay it up and in. 22-7 now with 2:45 left to go. Now Cameron almost came up with the steal, as LCU has some sort of numbers with Jones. Jones turn around left-hand hook from the baseline and gets that one to fall. LCU so far really getting only their points at the basket, only because the Lynx cannot get back in time off the press, as Young trying to drive in right side lane using the baseline is fouled in the act of shooting. So now she will go to the line for two opportunities in this one. Again, mentioned Young so far, only 4 of 6 in that ball game the other night over at Cotty College. Just from the line, this is a Lynx team I feel like needs to do a little bit better job of getting towards the line. Needs to be a little bit more aggressive. I think they could take a page out from the guys. They could learn from that as well. The guys like to settle for jump shots as well. Drive to the rim, draw some fouls. I mean, the Lynx shot 17 free throws in that ball game, went 13 of 17, so they're capable of shot 76% from the line. That's really good for Coach Crawford's bunch, but they got to get there first. We saw in one half they only got there twice. And Young does make a pair, though, however. 23-9 now, 2:15 to go. Shilp with it at the top of the key, over to Smith. Back to Shilp. She'll take a three from the right wing. No, off the back of the iron. It was halfway down. That one now tipped by Montero. Somehow saved. Tiptoeing the baseline was Clark, as she has it coming on the fast break opportunity. Clark, jumper from the left side, elbow, no good. Montero with the offensive rebound, going right back up with it. Still can't get that one to go. Gets her own miss. Put back, no. Gets her own miss again. Now that one's blocked into the hands for Cameron, and she'll lay it up and in. And another timeout taken right here by LCU. We will take one as well, as Christian Lowry wants to talk things over. Your Lynx lead it, though, 25-9. Here is still 2 minutes to go in the first half, as you're listening to Lady Lynx basketball right here on 89X.
ME Realty in Lincoln brings home buyers and sellers together in Logan County and the surrounding area. ME Realty is now at a new location at 602 Keokuk in Lincoln. You can also reach them at 217-735-5424. That's 217-735-5424. You can also reach them directly online at SethSellsLincoln.com. That's SethSellsLincoln.com. You can see all of their latest home listings at any time. ME Realty in Lincoln is proud to be involved in the Lincoln community and is a proud supporter of Lincoln College men's and women's basketball.
Welcome back to LCU, just about 5 minutes away from Lincoln College. Not too far of a drive if you're in that Lincoln area to come check out a doubleheader here. First, your Lady Lynx, followed by your guys team, both taking on LCU in this contest. Should be two good games as Young got a piece of that. LCU with the basketball coming out of the timeout. And Smith with it on the left side wing. Has it stolen away by Cameron, though. Lynx trying to push the pace. Cameron almost beat everybody down the floor. Lawling thought about a three from the top of the key. Instead finds Montero down low. Everybody was so ready for the three by Lawling. Nobody saw Montero just standing all alone underneath the basket as she lays it up and in. Montero looks like she's going to have herself a big ball game here in this one, as we've seen her and Young both go for 30 in some games this season. LCU now with it. I remember they won last year against this Lynx team, as we will have more on that shortly. Under a minute to play in this first quarter, though. Jones picks up her dribble at the top to keep for LCU. Goes over to Schilp. Picks up her dribble, guarded by Young. Turn around left-hand shot, no good. Saved by Smith, number 10 for LCU. Into the hands, I believe, of Henningsen, as she does take the one-handed hook shot from the left side wing as the shot clock expired. And it was a shot clock violation, but give her credit, she actually made the shot. The one-handed little hook. You don't see that too often. Unfortunately for LCU, it didn't count. As here come the Lynx now back the other way. Clark now with it. Goes to Cameron. Swinging around to the right wing now here for Young. Young to the top of the key and Lawling back around the perimeter for Clark. Now to Cameron. Down low to Gines, who just came in for Montero underneath the basket, working on Jones. She can't get that one to go. Gets her own miss, though. Now ball's loose on the floor. Still loose. And it ends up in the hands of LCU underneath their basket in Michaela Smith, number 32. She's guarded by Clark. Goes to the corner now for Schilp. She'll take the three from the right side corner, and she knocks it down. So that gets LCU some hope, as it's 27-12 here with 1 second to go. Clark at the center feet takes the shot, makes it, but didn't realize that there was only about 1.5 seconds left to go before the end of the quarter. So that will do it here for quarter number one. 27-12 your score. Lady Lynx out in front, as it was a good first quarter for them. Again, Cameron and Smith both doing a nice job with some shots into the corners, along with Young and Montero doing a lot of cleaning up underneath the basket. A lot of offensive rebounds in that ball game, as we know that this is a Lynx team that comes in first in the nation. Yes, first in Division II NAIA women's basketball in rebounds per game. They averaged about 48 rebounds per contest. They're actually fourth in the nation in defensive rebounds, and 8th in the nation in offensive rebounding. So the Lady Lynx do get a lot of second chance opportunities in this ballgame. They actually average about 16 offensive rebounds per game, good for 8th in the country. And we're seeing it here today. Don't have the stat sheet actually pulled up just quite yet, but I know if I went to look at the live stats right now, I bet Montero already has close to probably somewhere around 8-9 rebounds already in this contest. So it should be interesting to see how she fares in this ballgame. I know she's getting a lot of minutes subbed in and out, because you don't want her to pick up those two fouls real quick, as her and Young actually both sitting the bench right now, as you kind of giving them a breather. You don't need them to pick up any silly fouls or any silly mistakes in that contest. So we'll see what they do coming into this second quarter. I think it's got to be more of the same for Coach Crawford. Really don't change anything, as whatever that you're doing seems to be working right now for LCU. I think they really just got to get the ball across midcourt. If they can break that full court press by the Lynx, they have some looks, they have some opportunities down low, as they have numbers once they get across midcourt. Until they get to that point, though, it's all Lincoln, as now we're going to have a foul as Michaela Smith, number 32, driving in left side lane. Puts up a shot, is fouled by Amani Smith. So that'll be her first, team's first here in the second quarter as well, as Smith will be at the line for 2 opportunities. And I mentioned Smith comes in averaging 15 points a game, a 72% free throw shooter. She knocks down the first right there, 27 for 37 from the line this season. She does have one more free throw coming after she made the first. And the second one no good, so 1 of 2 from the line goes Smith, and the Lynx pull down the board. They come back with numbers on the fast break. They go to Lawling all alone at the top of the key for 3, no good. as Guines almost with the loose ball rebound. Instead, Smith will run it down, and it's a fresh 20 for this Lady Lynx squad. Swinging around the perimeter. This time, Cameron from the left wing will take the three. No good. Way too strong there by Cameron. But it'll go off of Smith, out of bounds for LCU, number 10, and it'll stay with the Lynx. I believe Guines thought that it was going the other way. Actually, she lost her shoe. She had to play that whole possession without a shoe, but it looks like she's ready to go. I don't think she actually put the shoe on. I think she just kind of slipped it on. I don't know if it's on there tight enough. See what happens. They throw it into Cameron, though, on the right elbow. Back to Smith. Thought about a three from the right side corner. Instead, drives baseline, puts it up off the glass. No. Guines was there for the offensive rebound and still can't get that one to go. Is now Cameron almost taking it away from LCU. And Henningsen. Or Kilpatrick, excuse me, but she'll lose it out of bounds, so it'll stay with the Lady Lynx. As she probably went over the back on Cameron. It was probably two good no calls right there, both fighting for possession. But Kilpatrick lost it out of bounds, and it'll stay with the Lynx squad. 27-13, 9.5 minutes still to play before halftime. They inbound it to the left side in the paint for Cameron, and she'll back it out to Clark at the top of the key. Smith with it now on the left wing, trying to drive in. Kicks it back out towards the baseline. Cameron now trying to drive in. And puts it up and on off the glass. Good Euro step there from her from the baseline. And Cameron having herself a little bit of a ball game here in this first half. 29-13 lead now. Here comes LCU quickly back the other way. Smith with it. To Henningsen on the right wing. Picks up her dribble. Back out to Smith, number 10. To Kilpatrick at the top of the key. To Michaela Smith, number 32 on the left wing. Smith still has it. Guarded by Lawling. Wants a screen. Going to use it off by Jones. She'll go to the left side of it, but then stolen away by Smith. Smith looked like she was fouled. Ball still rolling right on the out-of-bounds line. And finally, they will say that it does go out of bounds. Last touch by Amani Smith. Looked like she was pushed, but no call. Now we'll have some substitutions being made. Isabel Woosley will check in for Jones. And I believe Rebecca Adams, the junior out of Crawfordsville, Indiana, will check in as well for LCU. And Lawling and Cameron check out. Both Montero and Young back into the contest to give those two a quick breather. Good minutes, though, by the two from Lincoln, Illinois, and Cameron and Lawling. And Smith with it. Over to Adams. Sets her feet. Takes a three from the left wing, and she knocks it down. So she comes right off the bench and knocks down a big shot for LCU. 29-16 is now Clark going to try to answer from the left wing on the other side from downtown, and she does. So the Lynx answer with a three of their own, and it's now a 32-16 lead. So Lynx lead by 16. And playing well here early. We knew that this LCU team was going to have to keep pace with this Lynx squad. That one blocked from behind by Aaron Young as the ball's loose on the floor, and we have a traveling violation. We'll see who actually had possession. Smith and Clark were both there, but they will say Clark actually had the possession of it. And it's going to be a traveling violation on this Lady Lynx squad. So it'll give the ball to LCU underneath their own basket. Smith trying to throw it into Adams. Thought about another three. Instead guarded very closely by Guines. Trying to drive in left side lane, that has it blocked by Guines. And outlets now to Young. Bounce pass to Smith running the floor, and she threw it just a tad bit too far for Armani Smith. She couldn't run it down and lay it up and in. Otherwise, it would have been an easy two for Smith. And this Lynx lead would have grown even farther. Instead, it stays 32-16 in favor of your Lady Lynx. LCU now with the basketball. 32-16, 7.5 minutes left to be played. Lynx looking good here so far. Now that one almost stolen away by Smith as Henningsen gets it at the top of the key, goes to the corner now. And Kilpatrick down low to Adams, but throws it over the head of Woosley, and it's another Lynx steal going the other way. Outlet now to Young. She can't hit, but Clark running the floor. Good bounce dribble, or power dribble there, and she'll lay it up and in. Montero was actually in her way to be able to get that one to go. That's why she had to power dribble. Otherwise, Montero would have got the offensive rebound. Smith now with it, trying to drive in on Young, but we know that's just not possible. Young with some good defense stops her in her tracks. Bounce passes one to Adams now on the left wing. She made a three there earlier, but she's trying to bounce pass one down low to Woosley, but stolen away by Montero. Montero beating everybody down the floor, takes it herself, can't get that one to go. Clark with the offensive rebound. Thought about going back up for it. Instead goes to the left side corner, and Smith from downtown. No, she hit there earlier. Now Gines trying to fight for the loose ball. Instead, it goes to Montero. Finds Young at the top of the key. She drives in inside the lane and lays it up and in off the glass. Good ball movement here by this Lady Lynx squad, and they should have no trouble and any signs of worries so far, as once again they find Woosley down low because that press, nobody back for the Lady Lynx. Like I said, if they beat that full court press, they have the opening down low instead. This time LCU found it. Clark trying to go coast to coast this time around, cannot. Almost looked like it was a lob in a guy's game. Instead, Montero can't corral it. It was actually off of Michaela Smith, and it'll stay with LCU underneath with the Lynx underneath their own basket. So Clark will set to inbound, as Jones will check back in, I believe, for Adams, who wasn't quite paying attention. She was ready to go. She wanted to keep playing. She did not want to come out as they inbound it to Montero underneath the basket on the left side lane, and she is fouled in the act of shooting. Good news there for Montero. Went straight up with it as it goes on Jones right as she checks back into the ball game, picks up a foul. That's now her second, so she's going to have to be careful, as Montero now will go to the line for 2 opportunities. Montero's first one no good, as she cannot hit the first one. She was 3 for 4 in that Cotty College game, and on the season 65% from the line. As the second one in as well, so 1 of 2 from the line goes Kalia Montero, and this Lynx team still with that full court press as of late. They're trying to get it across. Is now that one a bad pass there from Shilp, trying to throw it over the head of Michaela Smith. She wasn't ready to run after it, and it goes out of bounds, and it'll give the ball right back to this Lady Lynx squad, who is having themselves a pretty good first half. LCU has not had much answer as we've been on the offensive side of the floor for the Lady Lynx almost the entire 2 quarters. Young with it now, trying to drive in. Right side lane is fouled in the act of shooting. Count the basket and the foul as Young goes to the line. And we know Young's very capable of doing things like that. So she'll go to the line and try to get the 3 the old-fashioned way from the line. And she does. Line drives one right into the basket. 40-18 now our score. 6 minutes left to go. Crawford not throwing this press as Montero read it well. Steals it, goes to Young. Young puts it up off the glass, and we're going to have an offensive foul. Probably not really an offensive foul right there, but if the score was a little closer, I think Young might have gotten the benefit of the doubt there, but instead it goes against LCU after the charge on Aaron Young. And there wasn't much there. She kind of caught the basketball there and then tried to go right up with it, but kind of leaned into the girl a little bit. Young's a little stronger than some people, as now we have a foul going against the Lady Lynx on the press, I believe on Aaron Young. Young's trying to say, I didn't even touch her, but that's her second, team's third here in the half, or in the quarter for this Lady Lynx squad. They lead it 40-18 here with 5.5 minutes left to go before halftime. Smith now with it for LCU. Trying to bounce past 1, 2 slip, give and go back to Smith, number 32. She'll lay it up on the right side lane, but it's fouled in the act of shooting. So she'll now go to the line for 2 opportunities. Again, Smith only 2 opportunities from the line in the last game against St. Mary of the Woods College for LCU, as they're coming off a pretty tough loss on the road over St. Mary's of the Woods College back on Tuesday. They lost 100-51 in that contest. And Smith knocks down a pair. 20-point lead now for the Lynx, 40-20. As the Lynx trying to work quickly here. Smith trying to get it down low to Montero. Right side lane, puts it up off the glass, and it's too easy as she already had her feet set inside the paint, and she'll lay it up and in. The Lynx get that 2 points right back as we'll see this full court press action right here as Young going to have to get back. Schilp now with it, takes a jumper from the right side elbow. No good, short off the front of the rim, pulled down by Young. Lynx have a 3-on-2 fast break. Young trying to go coast to coast. You know she can blow right past anybody, and she does as she lays it up and in. 44-20 now. And that one off the foot of Michaela Smith. Now that one goes to Young, and Young fouled hard in the act of shooting. Otherwise, it would have been an easy 2 again for Young. Make her earn it from the line is LCU. That's what they're saying. So now Young back at the free throw line for 2 opportunities as Cameron and Lawling check back in for Smith and Clark. And don't forget, 20 minutes after the conclusion of this game, we will have the men's game as they take on LCU as well in another rivalry game, another big heated matchup as well. Make sure you tune in for that. And following 20 minutes following the end of this game, as Young cannot hit the second free throw, but the offensive rebound goes to Gines, and she'll lay it up and put it back in. So ends up working nicely for this Lady Lynx squad. As now that one's stolen away by Lawling, finds Cameron. Cameron trying to find Montero, but it somehow finds Gines. Now Gines trying to save it from going out of bounds, and it'll stay off of they'll say actually off of Gines. Awfully close there on my side of the floor. Thought it was actually off the Lady Lynx, or off of LCU, but they will say it was off of Gines. So it'll give the ball back to LCU. Still having to go the length of the floor, though, however, as we'll see what they do. They inbound it now right into the middle of that press. Smith with it. Guarded by Cameron, trying to get it across half court. They do have to be careful for the over and back, as Michaela Smith, number 10, now has it. Now Henningsen trying to feed, I believe, Kilpatrick in the corner, but it was tipped out of bounds. It'll stay with LCU, though, on their side of the floor. As they will inbound now to Smith. Smith trying to drive in, left side lane, working on Lawling, and she is fouled in the act of shooting, and they will say actually count the basket and the foul. Very late whistle there, but it gives LCU some hope, as that'll send, again, Smith back to the line for another couple free throws. And they cannot hit the and one opportunity right there. 47-22, 4:15 left to go here before the half. And now we're going to have an offensive foul going on Aaron Young. Try to drive in, right side lane, kicks it out to Cameron in the corner, but a very late whistle has another charge going against Young. That might be her third, team's fifth. As one more, and that'll put LCU in the bonus shooting free throws. However, though, Young going to take a seat, and that's what I'm saying. If we can keep things out of foul trouble, keep her and Montero out of foul trouble, this will be a pretty solid game. Good news for the Lady Lynx is that they got a pretty comfortable lead right now that they sustained in this first half, that they could kind of rest Young a little bit. Not going to affect them too much, as now we have a foul this time, I believe, going on Montero, going after the loose ball. No, it actually goes against LCU. Okay, they do say it was on Montero. It was 12 versus 12. I actually thought Schlimp actually picked that up for a second, but it does go on Montero. That's her second as well. Push Schilp at the line for 2 free throws, as that was the team's 6th foul. Does not hit the first one, though, however, as Schlimp just a 66% free throw shooter on the season. Not too many attempts at the free throw line, but does make 1 of 2, as it's now 47-23. Only 8 attempts after those 2 from the line so far this season was Schilp. She likes the 3 ball the best, as Clark trying to feed one down low to Gines, but it has it poked, as it's now loose on the floor. It's going to be a jump ball, as Cameron and Kilpatrick both fighting for it. It'll stay with the Lady Lynx, though, however, as they will get a fresh shot clock and inbound underneath their own basket. 47-23, 3:45 left to go before halftime. Like I mentioned, it's been all Lady Lynx so far since the tip. See if LCU can regroup coming out of halftime. I think they're just looking to get to halftime at this point. As Clark with it, trying to bounce pass one to Montero, who caught it at the free throw line, and then she drives right side lane, and now she's called for the charge. As I believe that was Kilpatrick who stepped in there and took one for the team. So now Montero might have 3 fouls. And that puts the Lady Lynx, or LCU, in the bonus, not shooting free throws, though, after that one, as it's going the opposite direction. Lynx still lead, though, 47-23. Not really going to hurt them too much unless she picks up another couple fouls, as Schlimp taking a long 3 right there from the top of the key. No good. Rebounded by Montero. Outlet now to Clark. Clark over to Cameron. Cameron swinging around for Lawling, but we're going to have a traveling violation, and Lawling smiling, saying she knew it right there, as it's going back the opposite direction. Imani Smith now will check back into the ballgame for Gines as she'll take a seat. I like the substitution method here by Coach Crawford, getting all these Lady Lynx a lot of minutes, but at the same time giving them a breather from time to time too. Could help you down the stretch. As Adams will check back in for LCU along with Woolley. As Kilpatrick and Smith both check out of the ball game for LCU. Now Michaela Smith, number 32, has one as they find Woolley down low. She cannot hit the easy jumper right there on the right side of the lane, pulled down by Clark for your Lady Lynx. Now to Smith, to Cameron. She drives left side baseline trying to find Lawling, gives it back to Cameron. She's smacked out of bounds, denied. I think that was Henningsen who actually got the block there on Cameron. I think Cameron was looking for Lawling to take the shot, but I think Lawling actually couldn't corral it, and it went back into the hands of Cameron. Now Lawling going to throw it right into Montero, and too easy underneath the basket as Montero with a big mismatch down low just lays it up and in. 49-23 lead, still 2:45 left to play here in the second quarter. As Adams now with it for LCU. Looking for Henningsen at the top of the key instead, guarded very closely by Clark. Going to have to go to the right wing now, and Smith. She's trying to drive in over Clark. Can't get that one to go. Montero pulls down the board. One and done opportunity yet again for LCU. Here comes Smith with it on the fast break to Lawling on the left wing. Over to Cameron. She'll take the jumper that she loves so much from the baseline and knocks it home. Cameron with a big first half right here for this Lady Lynx squad as they lead 51-23 here in the rivalry ball game. And game number one, we will see this team again, so don't think that they have forgotten. I know this Lady Lynx team hasn't forgotten because this is a Lady Lynx team that got beat by this LCU squad last season. They're looking for some redemption as that one trying to get it down low to Adams, and it's going to be a tie-up, jump ball. Her and Tia Clark both fighting for it as that one will go this time in favor of LCU, so they'll keep it the possession with 8 seconds on the shot clock underneath their own basket. Smith trying to throw it in to Adams down low. Cameron was right there. Didn't see it, though. She can't hit. Montero saves it from going out of bounds along with the rebound. Here comes Smith. Over to Clark on the left side corner. Trying to drive baseline, but she is fouled as she got bumped. Trying to kick that one back out to Smith. And I thought they said it was in the act of shooting, but Clark wasn't shooting, so it should be on the floor, and it is. So the Lynx will inbound underneath their own basket with a fresh 20. Here comes Kilpatrick into the ball game. She will come in for Henningsen. Smith to the corner, right side corner for Lawling. Catch and shoot from downtown, no good. Halfway down and out as it's pulled down by LCU. Here come the Lady Red Lions back on the fast break as Smith with it at the top of the key, trying to look for Schilt, but on the left wing cannot, though. Now she finally gets to her. Guarded very closely by Imani Smith. To Kilpatrick, now to Adams on the right wing for LCU. 12 seconds now on the shot clock. Trying to drive in is Adams. Kicks it back out to Kilpatrick. Trying to bounce one on the baseline, but has it poked out of bounds by Clark with 5 seconds on the shot clock. So LCU inbounding underneath their own basket with 5 seconds to go. Look for Adams. They saw her down low. They had her open. She just couldn't get that one to go. As Adams trying to push Cameron out of the way. Instead, it's stolen by Imani Smith. A one-on-one fast break with Schilt. She'll just blow right past her and lay it up and in. She created a lot of space there. Smith quick off the dribble right there for the Lady Lynx as Adams now with it. Catch and shoot after the press. She can't get that three to fall. Now Kilpatrick fell on the floor, but saved by Smith. Kicks it back out to Schilt, who took the long three for LCU. Now that one finally pulled down by Lawling, as Lawling trying to run the fast break opportunity. Almost had to go out of bounds. Goes to Cameron at the free throw line. Now to Clark. She'll set her feet and take a three from the left wing. No good. Pulled down by Adams. Under 30 seconds to play. Shot clock and game clock separated by about 5 seconds. Lynx lead by 30. 53-23. 25 seconds left to go in the second quarter. Like I mentioned, it's been all Lincoln from the tip. And it's, like I said, separated by about 5 seconds. So the Lynx will have time to go down the length of the floor as Smith almost lost that one. Makes her man miss. Takes the three off short. Adams with the offensive rebound for LCU. Looked like a travel. Still no. That one's still tipped. And now Kilpatrick with the offensive rebound goes back up for it and then blocked from behind by Smith, but it was fouled in the act of shooting, so that'll send Kilpatrick now to the line for 2 opportunities. Here with 4.2 seconds left to go before we head to halftime. And Kilpatrick, very long free throw shooter, taking her sweet time, but cannot hit the first one. Almost short of the rim right there. Just barely got a piece. Cannot hit the first, though. And for Kilpatrick, it's averaging about just a little over 1.5 points a game, shooting 33% from the free throw line because he's only been there 3 times, 1 of 3. And the second one not in as well, no good, but the offensive rebound goes to Adams, over to Woosley, who takes a shot, no good, and that will do it here at the half as your Lady Lynx lead LCU here in rivalry game number 1 over at LCU. It's 53-23 in favor of your Lady Lynx. Again, it was a great first half by the Lynx. Like I mentioned, it was all from the start, as from the jump as well. They really did what they needed to do. They made some big shots down in that ball game in that first half to kind of separate themselves, and then it was just basically about playing keep away from there. They scored a little bit on some of those turnovers by LCU, but one thing though I think LCU did that was an interesting factor is they can beat that press. I think they can easily beat that full court press by Coach Crawford's group. The only problem is I don't think they see him down low. That's really where LCU's getting a majority of their points from in that first half. So if they can keep working the ball down low and then work the outside, I think that'll open up Schultz and Smith, both Smith actually, maybe even Henningsen as well, to kind of get some 3 balls to fly, because they only shoot 26% from the 3-point line anyway. So it should be interesting to see how they work into that 3 a little bit more in these next 2 quarters. So that'll do it here at the half. Again, make sure you tune in, as we will have the guys game coming your way 20 minutes right after this. 53-23 lead for your Lynx as they lead by 30 here in the rivalry game number 1. Don't go anywhere. More Lady Lynx basketball coming your way right here on 89X.
Grau Chevrolet Buick in Lincoln is proud to be a sponsor this season of Lincoln College men's and women's basketball on 89X and on LCTV. Thanks to their generous support, you'll never miss a single broadcast this season as the Lynx compete in NAIA action. Grau Chevrolet Buick has served the Lincoln and surrounding area with new and used vehicles, along with a complete service department since 1953. Grau is open Monday through Friday between 8 and 7, and on Saturdays 8 to 3. Grau Chevrolet Buick in Lincoln at 1905 North Kickapoo. The State Bank of Lincoln is Lincoln's oldest bank. In fact, its home location at 508 Broadway dates back over 100 years. That's 100 years of providing Lincoln and surrounding area residents and businesses with banking services, including checking and savings accounts. They also provide personal, business, and agricultural loans and retirement planning. The State Bank of Lincoln's Woodlawn branch opens mornings at 7:30. You can also find them at Walmart in Lincoln and with 2 locations in Clinton. The State Bank of Lincoln, since 1903, assisting and strengthening both individuals and the local community.
Guys, like having a place to live, eating food, wearing clothes, sending 639 texts a week on a shiny new phone, there's one thing that can help you get the money to do all of those things. It's called a job. If you're a guy turning 18, there's one important thing you need to do to make sure the job market is wide open for you. Register with the Selective Service System at sss.gov. Failing to register with Selective Service would mean you'd not only be breaking the law, you'd also be unable to apply for federal jobs, many state and municipal jobs, and all kinds of job training programs the government offers. So guys, take a minute and register with the Selective Service. You'll keep your job prospects open. Otherwise, how are you going to get the basketball shoes with full-length responsive cushioning and an outsole cutout for low-profile impact protection? Take that minute. Go to sss.gov and register with Selective Service and keep all your options open. Remember, it's quick, it's easy, it's the law.
You wanted to see me?
Yes, please, have a seat. So here's the thing. When this company brought you on, we took a chance on you.
You didn't have that 4-year college degree we typically look for.
Right.
But we gave you a shot anyway. And since then, you've worked incredibly hard and given it your all.
Thanks.
You've been an important asset to the team, but I don't think you can be an intern here anymore. We want to hire you.
You're serious?
Absolutely.
Find your next great employee. Introduce yourself to the Grads of Life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
I won't let you down.
I know.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jamari Shoemaker. Welcome to the halftime. I'm here with Director of LCTV, Bud Broyles. How you doing, Bud?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I started off in video production as a freelancer. Worked my way up through network and through just about every type of job you could have in as a cameraman in video production. I have had Parkinson's for about 10 years and found a experimental drug that actually brought me away from going into a nursing home. And within 6 to 9 months, I was doing much better. And the director here, John Malone, came to me and said, would you be interested in coming down and kind of sharing what you know with our students? And that's it.
So what made you get interested in pursuing television?
I actually owned an ambulance company at one time, and I would take an old video camera with me, and when I didn't need to help patients, I'd just pick the camera up and start shooting. And I was videotaping a fire one day, and one of our congressmen was killed in the fire. I had no idea what I was shooting or anything, and I took it to a TV station, and the next day I had all 3 local stations calling me, asking me if I wanted a job. I took it and worked my way up through the ranks, and Peter Jennings, who was the anchor of ABC News, came to me and said, why don't you start working network? And so I worked out of Chicago, but one producer told the next producer about me, and before I knew it, I was working just about 3.5 weeks out of every month.
So how old were you when you first started into television?
Television, I was 21 when I first started full-time. I worked at a local TV station for a long time and got as much experience as I could. But I was 21 when I started shooting.
What TV outlets or what other outlets in television did you also work for, or what projects did you do in television?
Oh, my. I've been on the campaign, the presidential campaign. I did Bush, Clinton, first Bush, and Obama. I've been with ESPN, shot a series called Cops on Fox Network. I was on stage with Reba McEntire and a lot of the entertainers. Was in the pits for NASCAR. I covered 7 cars, and it just goes on and on from there. But it's strictly word of mouth that gets you where you want to go.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Yamari Shoemaker. I'm here with Bud Broyles, the director of LCTV, and we were just discussing his career and what got him interested in television. But is there any advice that you would like to give to anybody who is or wanting to get into television as their career path?
Yeah, I would find you could actually go to a a cable access channel and start working as a cameraman or doing some reporting. These normally do not pay, but they're good experience, and then come to a college like this. Lincoln College is one of the best ones I've ever been around as far as equipment and people and what they have to offer. And then once you're in college, make sure that you do about every job there is for the program. That way, I mean, you might want to start off as a shooter, a cameraman, or editing. Make sure you do it all. And then at the very end, you can say, you know, I wanted to be an editor, but I really like shooting. And you kind of hone your skills at that point and go after what you really want. But never put yourself into one position where you don't have a good outcome when you leave. You want to make sure that you've tried everything and see which way you want to go. Now, once you get out of college and you're a shooter, maybe you want to become a producer or director, go for it.
Thank you, Bud, for joining us for the halftime. My name is Jamari Shoemaker, and I'm here with Bud Broyles. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Glad to be here.
Thanks.
Hey, Steve Harvey here. Now, I've been told I know a thing or two about surveys, but I was really interested to learn the answers the Illinois Emergency Management Agency gave when asked to name the top 5 items every Illinois family needs to have in their home's emergency disaster kit. Their top 5 answers: water, non-perishable food, a weather radio, a flashlight, better throw in some fresh batteries too, and of course a first aid kit. Look, there's no need for a family to feud over what to include in the emergency disaster kit. Get the answers at ready.illinois.gov. That's ready.illinois.gov.
Remember the top 5 things essential for your emergency disaster kit: water, non-perishable food, weather radio, flashlight, and first aid kit. For more information, get all your answers at ready.illinois.gov. That's ready.illinois.gov. Sponsored by the Illinois Emergency Management Agency, aired in cooperation with the Illinois Broadcasters Association and this station.
I'm Tiffany. I have some tips for you on how to quit smoking like I did. First, I did some reading about it. I found a lot of great advice on how to quit smoking and picked out the ways I thought would work best for me. I started by setting a quit date. Then I threw out my ashtrays, lighters, and matches. I did other things too, like exercising more, and it worked. But I'd still get cravings, especially on long car rides. To help me with that, I put a picture of my mother in my car. She died of lung cancer from smoking cigarettes when I was only 16. Now I have a 16-year-old daughter. That picture of my mother reminds me that I don't want to miss all the things my daughter is going to do in her life, including turning 17.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and CDC.
Hello, it's me, the designer jeans in your closet, the back of your closet. What am I doing here? Would you keep caviar in the back of your fridge with the ketchup and old milk? Yeah, I don't think so. So what happened to us? I mean, have you seen my label? I used to summer in the Hamptons, and now I'm stuck behind a pair of sweats. Sure, I never really fit you quite right, and one of my pockets is so small you can't even squeeze your hand into it. But it's all about the look. And I look good. I need to get back out on the scene so I can be seen. You know, going to fancy parties, getting expensive iced coffees, Sunday fun days, okay? So take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create new jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff. Create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Welcome back here at LCU, where your Lady Lynx lead the way by 30-plus points. Actually, exactly 30. 53-23 here at the break. We're getting set to go for the third quarter in just about a couple of minutes in this one. And like I mentioned, it was all Lynx in that first half as we already have 4 players in double figures for your Lady Lynx. Leading the way is Kalia Montero, who could sit the rest of the ballgame and still have a double-double, as she's got 13 points, 11 rebounds, and 2 steals in that first half, shooting 6 for 12 from the field. Following her, you'll have Erin Young. She's got 11 on the night, one with 4 rebounds. Still no assists for her, but she does have 1 block and 1 steal to go along with those 11 points. And then you have Hannah Cameron and Imani Smith, both with 10 points apiece in that contest. Cameron has pulled down 4 boards as well. Smith just 2, as we know Smith has hit a couple big threes, both from the corners, 2 for 3 from behind the arc. Cameron 0 for 2 from behind the arc, but Cameron shooting 5 of 7 from the field. Imani Smith just 3 for 6 so far in this ballgame, but don't count anybody else out yet. Gines has 2. Lawling has 2 as well, but Lawling has 3 steals in that first half. Second on the team, Smith had 4 in 13 minutes of work in that ballgame. Lawling 1 of 5 from the field, and Gines 1 of 3 from the field. Gines also pulling down 5 boards to go along with that as well. Your Lynx did well on the turnovers as well. Only 7 turnovers in that first half. That's what Coach Crawford wants to see, and partially it was because of that full court press that they had set up throughout the majority of this one. And leading the way for Lincoln, for LCU, is Kenzie Shilp. She's got 7 on the night, along with 1 rebound. Followed by Michaela Smith, number 32. She's got 5, as the Lynx are ready to go here for the third quarter, as it will be their possession to start out. Lawling down low to Montero, up and over. Young on the right side of the lane, and she'll lay it up and in. So Lynx getting things started here on a good note. 55-23 after the made basket there by Kalia Montero. Here comes LCU now working quickly back the opposite direction, as it is Kilpatrick. Shilp now back out there. Again, Young did not start this third quarter. Kennedy Lawling does, as that 3 no good there by Shilp, and we're going the other way. Cameron now with it. Imani Smith also not starting this third quarter, along with for Gines. As good find there from Clark down low to find Montero, and she is hacked in the act of shooting, so she will go to the line now for 2 shots. So Montero back at the line. Like I mentioned, already a double-double for Kalia Montero. She was in 1 of 2 from the free throw line in that first half, as Jones will take a seat, as Michaela Smith, number 10, now will check into the ball game. Montero at the line, shooting 2 free throws, as she hits her first right there, and that makes it 56-23. She does have 1 more free throw to go, and she cannot hit that one. Gines pulls down the rebound, offensive rebound, trying to go back up with it, but she's going to be called for a traveling violation right there, so it'll be a turnover by the Lady Lynx, but a good offensive rebound, though, by Whitney Gines. And with that being said, like I mentioned, that one's stolen away by Montero. Gines with the power dribble, loses it, but goes right into the hands of Tia Clark. Now to Lawling, to Cameron, trying to feed Montero down low, working on Michaela Smith, no. Gets her own miss, though, trying to put back, no. Now that one's tipped, and it'll be off of Montero, and it'll go to LCU. But for Montero, that is now her 7th double-double of the season so far. Her last one came all the way back on November 25th. She had 33 points, 19 rebounds, as now Michaela Smith trapped in the corner, stolen away by Clark, finds Lawling at the top of the key, and it's a fresh 30 here for the Lady Lynx. Cameron on the right side corner, trying to feed Gines, kicks it back out to the top of the key, and Lawling for 3, and she'll knock it down. Kennedy Lawling with a big shot right there, as it's now 59-23 lead. As now that one's stolen away by Gines, dishes it off to Cameron underneath the basket. She can't hit, as it was a wide open layup for Cameron. Cannot get that one to go, as LCU comes back down the other way. Here comes Shilp now. She'll take the 3 from the right wing, and she'll knock it down. So they answer with a 3 of their own. 59-26, under 8 minutes now to play, as Cameron Down low to Montero. Turn around left-hand hook on the left side of the lane, and she'll lay it up and in. Montero having herself a ball game and her own way down low here with LCU tonight. 61-26 as they got to get it across half court. They finally do as Michaela Smith, number 10, just stopped right at midcourt. They do get it across as she has it at the top of the key. Going back to Shilp on the left wing, trying to feed Henningsen down low, working on Montero, but the mismatch is still in favor of Montero, and she cannot. Now that one's stolen away by Montero, read it all the way, and it's another steal for this Lynx squad, and we're going back the opposite direction. Lawling running the point, goes to the right side corner here for Clark, trying to get it down low to Montero, working on the right side lane, turn around right-hand hook off the glass, and that one is in. And now we have a timeout taken here by Coach Crawford, so we will take one as well. 63-26 lead for your Lady Lynx. Don't go anywhere as they lead the way here at LCU right on WLNX.
This is 89X WLNX Lincoln, a Lincoln College station.
M.E. Realty in Lincoln brings home buyers and sellers together in Logan County and the surrounding area. M.E. Realty is now at a new location at 602 Keokuk in Lincoln. You can also reach them at 217-735-5424. That's 217-735-5424. You can also reach them directly online at SethSellsLincoln.com. That's SethSellsLincoln.com. You can see all of their latest home listings at any time. M.E. Realty in Lincoln is proud to be involved in the Lincoln community and is a proud supporter of Lincoln College men's and women's basketball.
We're back here at LCU where your Lady Lynx lead big, 63-26 over the Lady Red Lions here in game number 1. Again, don't forget 2 games tonight here on WLNX. As your Lady Lynx in game number 1 leading the way right now almost by 40, by 37 to be exact. And then your guys will follow right afterwards. Another big game right there. Going to go a long way in deciding things as that one's going to be a traveling violation by Kilpatrick, and we're going the opposite direction. So every time the LCU gets some sort of a turnover in favor of them, they turn it right back over as well. They come back out in a 2-3 zone. This could help the Lynx in store a little bit. They're trying to find Montero down low. Instead, Clark going to take a 3 from the left side corner. If you're not going to give it to Montero, she'll take the 3, and she knocks it through. Now it's a 40-point lead. 66-26 is now that one poked away. They will actually say it was off of the Lady Lynx. I just think Schultz just didn't catch it. But in a game like this, all those benefit of the doubt calls not going to go your way. And this one does not in favor of the Lady Lynx. 66-26 now, still 7 minutes left to play in this third quarter. And like I mentioned, Young has not had to play this entire quarter so far. Cameron pulls down the board after the miss by LCU from a free throw line. As Clark now with it at the top of the key to Lawling, swinging around to the left wing, and Cameron, she'll set her feet all alone from downtown, and she knocks down a big 3 right there. And Cameron now with a big shot there. Might get another point opportunity as Gines comes up the steal, finds Cameron, and then she's fouled in the act of shooting right at the basket. So now Cameron going to the line for 2 opportunities. And the first one rattles home there for Cameron. As again, she's a very solid free throw shooter here for Coach Crawford. And she knocks down the second one here as well. And still Lynx doing that full court press. I'm kind of shocked that they would do something like this as Kilpatrick going right side lane, draws a foul in the act of shooting. So she will now go to the line for 2 opportunities. As Kilpatrick, we saw 0 of 2 from the line in that first half. And she does knock down the first right there. And like I said, we knew this was going to be a big rivalry game in action here this afternoon. So far, it's been all Lady Lynx in at least game number 1. We will have to see these two meet up again down the stretch. That one halfway down but out as it's pulled down by Montero. 1 of 2 from the line goes Kilpatrick, and the Lynx come back with it the other way. Lolling with it on the right wing, trying to feed Montero, but poked out of bounds by Smith, number 32 for LCU. Lolling set to inbound underneath the Lady Lynx basket. Goes to Clark on the right side corner. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Back to Lolling. Thought about a 3. Back to Clark at the top of the key. To Cameron just inside the three-point line from the left wing, and she'll knock it down yet again. All alone was Hannah Cameron standing over there. Didn't waste any time on taking that shot. She's got a few points here in this third quarter. Henningsen trying to go coast to coast, driving in right side lane over. Clark just let her have it, but cannot get down to goal as Lolling pulls down the board here for the Lady Lynx. Lolling to Cameron in the left side corner. Gets really feeling it here. Takes the 3. No good. Gines with the offensive rebound. No. And Schilp pulls down the board for LCU as we're coming back the other way. Kilpatrick now with it. Thought about driving left side lane. Back out to Schilp all alone. Catch a shoot in transition from downtown. No. Henningsen trying to kick that rebound back out, but it finds Cameron for the Lady Lynx. 2-on-2 fast break with Clark and Gines. Clark trying to drive in, left side lane, kicks it back out to Lolling, who, if it had been a good pass, still has time to take the 3, sets her feet, no good, off the front of the rim, drops right into the hands of Montero. She'll lay it back up and in. Montero might have a 20-20 game before this is all said and done, as now Clark going to come flying in on Kilpatrick, and it's going to be called for the foul. And the Lynx still playing here very aggressive as Smith and Young both check back in, as Smith wanted a high five from Gines, didn't get one, so she gave one to herself. Again, this is the first minutes of the third quarter here for Aaron Young, halfway through. Now seeing the floor, and again, don't really need to play her as much as the Lynx already have a pretty big lead. Keep her rested, keep her healthy, and make sure she does not get hurt. As that 3 no good by Schilp, rebounded by Henningsen, but then stolen away by Cameron. Outlet now to Smith. A no-look pass to Clark on the right side corner. She'll set her feet, take the 3, and you already know. Tia Clark with another big 3 right there, this time from the right side corner, and it's a 78-27 ball game. LCU, I think, is just playing for some pride here at this point, looking to run some sets. I don't normally say the ball game is over in the third quarter with 4 minutes to go, as Smith takes a long 3, no good. And I think Clark actually hit it off of Kilpatrick. Thought she saved it, but they said she did not. There's a good hustle play there from Clark, and like I said, this game is already in favor of the Lynx, providing a miracle comeback from LCU, which is still possible. They can hit some 3s. We saw a lot of 3s in the guys' game a couple nights ago, so it is possible for them. Now that one lost out of bounds. No, saved by Imani Smith here for the Lynx. 3-on-3 fast break with Young and Clark. Young just right past everybody, lays it up and in on the left side. And finally the Lynx fall back a little bit. They don't use that press to their advantage, but I like to see that, though, from that Lady Lynx squad. I don't like to see it right now, actually. That one's tipped into the hands of Imani Smith. Outlet now to Young. She's got Clark all alone. Give and go with Clark. She'll just take the shot and lays it up and in. Young, one of the assists right there, just gave it along to Clark. It was a 2-on-none fast break opportunity. 82-27 with still 3:15 left to go in the third quarter. As now that one trying to feed Henningsen down low, working on Cameron on the right side of the lane, was fouled. Before the shot, they said. I think that was on Clark. Her second, team's third here in the quarter. LCU going to inbound underneath their own basket. Finally get it in. They threw it into the backcourt. I don't know exactly where that pass was going, but she does run it down. Nobody was in the backcourt for him. As now Schilp's going to take a 3 from the top of the key, but blocked, though, by Young. Read it all the way, and then comes up with the steal right afterwards. Young with an outlet now to Clark. Has Lawlings running the fast break. Instead, Clark will just take it herself and lays it up and in. I actually think that was the smart play. I thought Clark was going to pass it to Lawling there for a second because she had Smith running the floor with her. She was right on her hip. Instead, takes it herself and able to lay it up with ease. 84-27 now, as Michaela Smith, number 10, will take the 10-foot jumper from the baseline, and now LCU and Christian Lowry wants to talk things over. So we will take another timeout with them as well. It's a full timeout. Don't go anywhere. Lynx in control in game number 1 here at LCU as they lead 84-29. Don't go anywhere. More Lady Lynx basketball coming your way on right here on 89X.
Grau Chevrolet Buick in Lincoln is proud to be a sponsor this season of Lincoln College men's and women's basketball on 89X and on LCTV. Thanks to their generous support, you'll never miss a single broadcast this season as the Lynx compete in NAIA action. Grau Chevrolet Buick has served the Lincoln and surrounding area with new and used vehicles, along with a complete service department since 1953. Grau is open Monday through Friday between 8 and 7, and on Saturdays 8 to 3. Grau Chevrolet Buick in Lincoln at 1905 North Kickapoo.
Welcome back to LCU, Lincoln Christian University, where we have ourselves a rivalry ball game. And it's not really looking so much like a rivalry at this point. 84-29 lead for your Lady Lynx here still in the third quarter. Still 2.5 minutes left to be played. But like I said, in that ball game, going back to the last time these two teams met, as in game number 1, the Lynx actually lost to this LCU team back on December 11th of 2018. But in that ball game, Nonica Preston actually had 33 points in that ball game, hit 7 threes. Montero had 19. Clark actually had 11 in that ball game as well. Aaron Young actually did not play in game number 1. Did play in game number 2, however, when the Lynx won 82-68. As Lynx have the basketball coming out of the timeout. Lawling to the corner as she'll take a 3, no good, off the side of the backboard and down. Pulled down by LCU. And do want to take a moment here as Kilpatrick over to Smith, number 10 at the top of the key, to Shilp on the right wing, back to Smith in the corner, number 32. This time she's thought about a 3 as Michaela Smith over to Kilpatrick. Looked like she traveled. That one's tipped out of bounds, trying to feed Henningsen down low. But it was batted away, so it'll stay with LCU. And again, they're going to set the inbound here. 84-29 lead for your Lady Lynx, as they've really had this one from the jump. Shilp now with it. She'll take a jumper just inside the three-point line and knock it down. Even with a hand in her face there from Aaron Young's not going to matter. She puts it through. Lawling about traveled with it. Clark with it. She'll set her feet all alone from the top of the key. She'll take a 3, no good. Montero with the offensive rebound, rolls all the way around the rim and then can't get it to go, and then is going to be called for the over and back. They're going over Kilpatrick. So that's Montero's 3rd, team's 4th, and that could be a sign of life here for LCU if they can draw one more foul. 84-31 lead for your Lady Lynx. See what they have in store here as LCU has the basketball. Smith to Smith. She'll take a 3 from the right wing, and she'll knock it down. So Michaela Smith, number 10, knocks it down from the assist there from Michaela Smith, number 32. But Lawling takes a 3 from the top of the key, trying to answer. Montero with the offensive rebound, put back, and you know that she got that one to fall this time. After the last possession, she couldn't corral it and picked up the over and back call. 86-34, under a minute to play here in the third quarter. Smith to Smith. Back to Kilpatrick on the right wing. Trying to drive baseline, puts one up off the glass. No good. Young pulls down the board for your Lady Lynx. Young back over to Cameron. Swinging around to the left corner now. And Clark to the left wing. And Lawling. She'll pull from downtown. No good. Hits the bottom of the backboard. And Young's there for the rebound. Interesting shot there, as she'll put it up and in. So Montero, like I said, going to have herself a monster ball game here in this one. Has already picked up her 7th double-double of the season. She picked that back up before the second half even started, as she had 13-11 at the break. She does have 3 fouls, though, however, so she does have to be careful. Kilpatrick saw her, met her inside, didn't get that one to go, and now Smith trying to drive in on Cameron. Can't get that one to fall. Cameron pulls down the board. Outlets now to Lawling. Lawling with a one-on-one fast break and almost got the and one to go, but Lawling down for the count as Smith, number 10, really gave her a nice little push. I thought for a second there the way Lawling was on the ground like that. I thought possibly she landed on a shoulder or maybe an elbow or a wrist injury there, but she does get up, though, and she will go to the line for 2 shots as your Lynx lead 88-34 with 3 seconds to go in the third quarter. And that one no good by Kennedy Lawling. Just have another free throw to go. And she does hit this one this time around. Maybe the shoulder kind of possibly had something to do with that, as it was her right shoulder, as Smith from half court just going to throw up a prayer. It was not answered here at a Christian University. You'd think we'd have a better chance of getting one answered in this ballgame. Instead, they could not. As your Lynx lead here at the end of 3, 89-34. Don't go anywhere. The start of the fourth quarter coming your way, along with game number 2, 20 minutes after the conclusion of this one, as you will find them both right here on 89X.
The State Bank of Lincoln is Lincoln's oldest bank. In fact, its home location at 508 Broadway dates back over 100 years. That's 100 years of providing Lincoln and surrounding area residents and businesses with banking services, including checking and savings accounts. They also provide personal, business, and agricultural loans and retirement planning. The State Bank of Lincoln's Woodlawn branch opens mornings at 7:30. You can also find them at Walmart in Lincoln and with 2 locations in Clinton. The State Bank of Lincoln, since 1903, assisting and strengthening both individuals and the local community.
Welcome back here at LCU, where your Lady Lynx pretty much have this game in hand. 89-34, your score heading into the fourth quarter in favor of your Lady Lynx. But back to those 2 games that we saw from last season. I mentioned that the Lady Lynx lost that first game really because they only shot 40% from the field, just 26 of 64, only 9 for 22 in that ball game, and 68% from the line as well. They did have 23 turnovers, but they did have 14 steals and 17 assists in that contest. I'm sure they got to be somewhere close to that this go around. But in that for LCU, that game that they won, Schilp had 16 points on 4 made threes. Smith had 10, along with Watson, who's not playing here. She had 10 and 8 on the night, 4 of 6 from the field. And I think that's really the key factor. I'm not saying that LCU would still be in this ballgame because the Lynx have played it phenomenally well, as Henningsen takes the jumper 10 feet away, no good, pulled down by Young. But I think it'd be a different ballgame if they had Kishana Watson, because if they have her, this is a much different ballgame. That's their second leading scorer by about, 0.3, 0.2. They both have, her and Smith both average 15 points a game, but Watson averages 10 rebounds a ball game as well. So she's averaging a double-double without her in the last game at St. Mary College of the Woods, and in this one as well. But Schilp trying to do without her as she knocks down the 3 from the right wing right there, 91-37. Young now with it. She's double-teamed. Goes to the top of the key in Clark. Over to Cameron. Bounce pass down low to Smith from the left elbow. Back out to Young. She'll take a 3 from the right wing. No good. And Montero trying to tip it to herself, but it goes into the hands of Jones for LCU. Smith trying to work quickly now at the top of the key. Goes to the left wing and Kilpatrick. Back to Smith to Henningsen. To Smith, swinging around the perimeter to Kilpatrick. She'll take a jumper just inside the 3-point line. No good, as Henningsen trying to save it from going out of bounds, but cannot, as it's going the opposite direction. LCU hanging tough. Again, both teams a little down on the substitution side of things. Both teams not a very deep bench. Unfortunately for the Lynx, that's why we have to continue playing some of these starters in this ballgame, because we don't really have anybody else that can substitute in for it and to get minutes for. Same with LCU, as Smith with it now on the right wing. Had Young cutting towards the basket, trying to find her a little too late, and had that one stolen away. Young's not trying to pick up her 4th foul, so she let that one go. Here comes LCU now back on their side of the court. Adams just checked in. As Henningsen down low to Jones, turn around right-hand hook, and got the friendly shot to fall for Jones. 91-39 lead now, still in favor of the Lady Lynx. Is Clark going to take a three from the right side corner? No good. Montero trying to save it from going out of bounds, but cannot, as it's going the opposite direction. So Lynx trying to do their best to kind of really not think of the scoreboard and try to play like this is, a one-possession ball game. It's a little hard from time to time. I think really the one thing for this Lynx squad, I think they just need to try to work on not turning the ball over as much. Try to work on taking care of the basketball. You have a big lead in this ball game. You can afford a few turnovers here and there. So why not try to work on some things that maybe possibly you don't do well, and then you can correct those in this ball game when you have that comfortable lead, and then you could take that into your next ball game, which will be Saturday as Indiana Northwest comes to town. As that three no good by Schilp, saved by Adams into the hands of Montero. Outlet now to Lawling. Nobody back for LCU, and it's an easy fast break bucket there for Kennedy Lawling. Like I said, though, just trying to work on some things. The next game is going to be Saturday against Indiana Northwest, another doubleheader. That'll be on LCTV. Well, maybe, depending on the situation, as Kilpatrick just ran over Cameron. Does show good sportsmanship. And that was Smith, Michaela Smith. Does show good sportsmanship, though, however, and helps her back up. That's what you want to see. I know the score could be a little frustrating if you're an LCU fan, but like I said, she's showing good sportsmanship, and that's really the key thing that matters, in my opinion. As Lawling trying to feed Cameron inside the paint, dishes it off to Montero, who ran baseline from the left side and lays it up and in. 95-39 now, and I don't think the Lynx will have a problem scoring over 100 in this ball game, as they're only 5 points away. They did score, like I mentioned, 121 over the weekend. As Adams picks up her dribble, goes to Jones at the top of the key, trying to drive in, right side lane, spin move, and count the basket and the foul, as Jones went right at Young and just kind of threw up an overhead shot that banked home. Probably one of the ugliest shots I've ever seen in basketball, but also the luckiest shot I've ever seen, so it cancels each other out, and she's going to the line for an and one opportunity. And cannot hit that one to go, but she does get her own miss, trying to get the putback. This time does not get lucky. That one blocked by Young on the back end as Woosley had it. Young trying to go coast to coast, and she'll just lay it up and in over everybody. She can easily blow past and beat everybody down the floor if you let her. That this time LCU did, and it's 97-41. 6 minutes still to go in this fourth quarter. Adams trying to take a long three from the top of the key, and a high arcing shot goes for LCU and Adams, as it's now 97-44 in favor still of your Lady Lynxes. We will keep it right here and hear a quick word from our live sponsors, as we haven't really had much in this one today. We haven't really had a bank shot, so the State Bank of Lincoln not in, at least in this ball game for now. But if you do need the State Bank of Lincoln, they are Lincoln's oldest bank, and actually, in fact, its home location is at 508 Broadway. That dates back over 100 years in Lincoln, Illinois. That's 100 years of providing Lincoln and the surrounding residents and businesses with banking services, including savings and checkings accounts. They also provide personal, business, and agricultural loans, along with retirement planning. The State Bank of Lincoln's Woodlawn branch opens mornings at 7:30. If they're not open, you can always go to Walmart in Lincoln or with 2 locations in Clinton as well. But remember, the State Bank of Lincoln since 1903 has assisting and strengthening both individuals and in the local community as well. I have not seen a bank shot here so far in this ball game, but Young over to Clark. Clark maybe trying to change that. It's the side of the rim. Cannot get that one to go. Now that one ran down. They will say stay with the Lady Lynx, as that was off LCU. I think he could have just gave that one back to LCU, but they're having a better second half, I guess I should say. If I can find my stat sheet here, they only had 3 of 8 in that first quarter and only 12 points in that first quarter for Lincoln, or for LCU, and then 11 in the second. So they're doing a better job here in the third quarter, or third and fourth quarter, of trying to get that back up. I know the Lynx kind of being a little bit more lackadaisical. Actually, they're not really doing that too much. They're still quite a bit playing hard as Cameron puts up a little floater and puts it up and in. So Cameron's going to have herself a pretty good ball game here, along with everybody else for the Lady Lynxes. Now that one's poked away into the hands of Montero. Now hands it off to Clark. And I mentioned 4 players for the Lady Lynx in double figures at halftime. And that was a traveling violation going against the Lady Lynx. Actually, they called double dribble on Montero, but so it'll be a turnover going back the other way for LCU. But it was Montero, Cameron, Smith, and Young all in double figures at halftime. And I am pretty sure all of them have scored in this second half at least. I'm not too sure about Amani Smith, but I'd have to imagine she at least has put up something. And there's a foul going against LCU away from the basketball, as they cannot get that one. It's another turnover, 99-44. So the Lynx 1 point away from that magical 100, and Lawling trying to be the one to take that and get us over the hump with a 3 from the top of the key. Could not get that one to fall, though. Still 4:45 to go. I think the Lynx will have no issue with that. Adams catch and shoot from the right wing. Another high arcing shot, but caught at the bottom of the rim by Tia Clark. She'll outlet now to Lawling. Lynx had numbers, but Lawling going to pull up from downtown, and she does knock down the 3 right there, and all of a sudden this Lynx team over the hump, as they're now at 102-44, and then, like I said, it's been all Lincoln ever since they pulled into the gym. Smith now with it over to Adams. Adams had an open shot if it would have been a better pass. Instead, going to have to dish it down low to Woosley. Didn't take it herself. She had an open lane. Didn't see it, though. Tried to kick it back out, but Young was right there for the steal, and she'll just lay it up and in on the other side. I would like to see Woolsey take that one a little bit better. I mean, nobody was underneath the basket. Montero's not trying to pick up a foul. Neither is Young. Just go right at him, and I'm sure they'll probably give it to you like Jones did right there. This time it was Cameron, though. I think it was an actual charge, but a 60-point lead. It's going to be a blocking foul every time. Now some substitutions here for LCU as some of the starters come back in. Michaela Smith, Kilpatrick. Number 10, Michaela Smith comes back in. Kilpatrick, Schilt, and Henningsen. Jones at the free throw line does miss her first. Does have one more free throw to go. And that one no good there. Henningsen had good position for the rebound, but Cameron was right there. Here come the Lynx now the other way, as they're not really trying to waste any more time. Lawling going to sit her feet from the left side corner. Takes another 3. No. Montero with the offensive rebound. Put back, and you got it. Kind of seems like that's been the story of the ball game, ladies and gentlemen. Montero cleaning up the dirty work here for the Lady Lynx, and then finishing on the other end. I would imagine she's going to be about 20-20 here so far, as that 3 from the right side corner by Shilp halfway down, but no, as it bounces out into the hands of Montero. Young now running the floor with Lawling. She can't hit, gets her own miss. Put back, yes. And Jones did a good job of kind of redirecting Lawling's shot at the basket, but she gets her own miss and then puts it right back up and in, so it didn't matter. Now Henningsen just driving right in, left side lane, no good. Montero trying to go for the rebound. I thought they were going to call an over and back call right there. Instead, it's off of Montero as Gines comes back in for Montero. I have a feeling that would be her night, as Montero with a great ball game on hand here at LCU. Like I mentioned, loves to play here. 19 points, 9 rebounds, 4 steals in the last game. She was in this building, played in this building. This time going to exceed that as they throw it right into Henningsen running inside the paint, cutting towards the basket. As she can't get that one to go, but it was tipped off of Henningsen as her and Clark were fighting for it. And once again, good sportsmanship on the Lynx side of things as Tia Clark helping Henningsen up off the floor. So both teams showing good sportsmanship, which is what you want to see. At the end of the day, it is just a basketball game. I know to the players and sometimes to myself, there's a little bit more to it than just a game, and we get a little excited sometimes or upset about certain things. But at the end of the day, it is just a basketball game, and we have to realize that. As count the basket, and the foul is Smith with the fast break opportunity, taking it right to Young. Young was the one that fell on the floor instead, though. It'll be Smith going to the line for an and one opportunity, as here comes Montero back into the ballgame. Is Young now going to take a seat because Young picked up her fourth foul. Amani Smith laughing at her on the other end, trying to say, hey, what exactly are you doing over there? But they do somehow manage to work it out. Smith, Young, Crawford all on the bench having a good time. They know that this one's pretty much over. Is that one no good? The second free throw no good, and it seemed like Henningsen had a chance for the offensive rebound, but who do you think got it? Kalia Montero. She has it now at the top of the key. Good find there for Gines down low, left side of the lane, but then is fouled in the act of shooting, so she now will go to the line. Still 2.5 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter, 108-46, and I mentioned it's been all Lincoln. I guess I should say the Lynx, because both teams are Lincoln, as Gines knocks down the first right there. And remember, the guys will follow 20 minutes prior to the end of this ball game, as Gines cannot get that one to go. Rebounded by Montero, but then stolen away by LCU. Here they come now quickly on the fast break. Going to have to go quickly as well. Over to Henningsen. She'll take the three. No good. Way off on that one. Kilpatrick trying their best to save it, but runs into the wall. Good hustle play there from Kilpatrick. Just couldn't get it enough as it's going back towards the Lady Lynx. They lead it 109-46. 2:15 left to go here in the fourth quarter. And like I said, this one has been all but over since probably about halftime. It was a 30-point lead at the half. Thought LCU was going to come out firing in that second half, but again, more of the same by the Lady Lynx, and it's been all them. They definitely have earned it on this one. Shuffle pass there from Clark, trying to feed Montero down low. Ball's loose on the floor, and Smith comes up with it, number 32 for LCU. And then Lawling kind of gives her a little bit of a push, so we're going all the way down to the other end, and Smith will shoot free throws. So I guess the officials don't want this ball game to end anytime soon, but give them credit. Doesn't matter what the score is, they're still officiating. And that one in for Smith. Under 2 minutes to go, minute 51 left. Smith at the line. I mentioned it's been all Lynx in this ball game. That one in as well, so 2 of 2 from the line, and now a full timeout taken right here by Christian Lowry. He wants to talk things over, and we'll stay right here. I'll tell you a little bit of a story. Recent story, actually. So, Tuesday we got back from Columbia, Missouri, after the guys had a very heartbreaking loss in overtime over in Columbia, and we already knew it was an easy 4-hour drive already. The game didn't start till 7, so we didn't get out of there till at least 9:30. And we're on our way back. No, everything's fine. I'm not talking about that. It has nothing to do with that. We come back. I think it's about 1, a little after 1. We pulled into the parking lot in Lincoln the other day, and I'm driving back and forth between Lincoln and Springfield right now while we're on break. So I was heading home, and I got all the way. I'm going down Veterans. For those of you that know Springfield pretty well, I'm going down Veterans, and I pull right into my subdivision. And before I get there, I have this cop follow me all the way from, the airport to the subdivision. He ran my plates because he was right on my butt but then he left. He left. I wasn't speeding. Nothing happened. He didn't pull me over, right? But we passed another cop. And after that cop got off my butt and went the other direction, turned around and went the other way, that cop decided that he, for whatever reason, decided that he wanted to pull me over. So he went all the way over from the left lane to the far right side lane as I'm turning into my subdivision. So may I remind you, I'm about 10 houses away from being home. It's about 2 o'clock in the morning at this point. As Tia Clark loses it out of bounds, it'll go back to LCU with 1:35 left to go. But like I said, I am 10 houses away from being home and being in bed. Instead, I get pulled over, and, he goes, do you know why you got pulled over? And I was like, no, I don't. And he's like, I had a tail light out or something. But the main reason I got pulled over, and this is good. This is a good one. It shocked me. Because I thought for sure I was getting a ticket because it was a state cop, and I know my luck with state cops, I'm 0 for 3 so far with state cops on tickets. So I was like, it's a ticket. I'm like, really? It's 2 in the morning. I just got off of a long bus ride. Like, this is not something I want to be dealing with right now. Sure enough, he gave me a warning, so we're all good there. I just got a warning in case you were wondering for a taillight being out of some sort of white light or whatever it was. But the reason he pulled me over was because he looked at me and he goes, oh, well, I pulled you over because there was somebody in Petersburg Tuesday night that apparently ran from the cops. Okay. And I'm like, how does that have anything to do with me? And he goes, well, we tracked them all the way to the Springfield Airport, which I happened to be driving by at the time. And they were like, it's a red Dodge pickup truck with the light bar on the back. Well, I have a light bar on the back, but I drive a Chevy. The only problem is I actually don't have a Chevy logo, as now Coach Crawford's going to take a timeout, so we have a little bit more time to explain this. But I don't have a Chevy logo on the bed of my truck. It's ironic enough. But so he actually couldn't see that I was driving a Chevy. But I just thought it was funny because, like I said, I was in the right-hand lane. I was on Veterans. There was already a cop on my butt. He was running my license plates, and he saw that I drive a Chevy, that it was a Chevy. It was registered as a red Chevy. Well, and may I remind you, we passed this cop that pulled me over. So once I got back in, and he was like, oh, I bet you're wondering why, you got pulled over. And I was like, yeah, I am kind of, considering and then he told me that somebody ran from the cops over in Petersburg, tracked him out to the airport, and I just happened to be driving past the airport at 2 o'clock in the morning in a red pickup truck with the light bar on the back, and that's why I got pulled over. But I just thought it was hilarious because he even knew, the cop that pulled me over even knew that cop stopped, or that cop was on my butt, because he said, oh, I bet you were a little nervous when you saw the cop on your tail. And I was like, yeah, I'm sure he was probably reading my license plates, or checking my license plate and things like that. So that was the story of my night when I got back from Columbia. I know it was not a good game for the Lynx, but it got even worse for the broadcaster. Luckily and thankfully, I did not get a ticket, as there's a 5-second count right there. The Lady Lynx could not get it in, so that'll give the ball right back to LCU here with 48 seconds left to go. But like I said, that's my story, and that was my night. So like I said, everything happens really only to me for the most part when on bad luck and things of that nature. But I thought that was funny, and I wanted to share that with you guys. Except if I would have got a ticket, then I wouldn't have shared it. As Lawling comes up with a steal and lays it up on the other end. So that puts us at now 111-48 with 30 seconds to go. Shot clock and game clock separated by a second. So this should be the final possession, I would have to say, at least a little bit. But like I said, so instead of going, and then I actually remember my mom's texting me. She's going, where are you? Like, why are you not home yet? Why are you not here? And then that one stolen away by Clark, and that'll do it. The Lynx just got to get across midcourt. They do, and that'll do it. But like I said, she was wondering where I was, and I can't just text her while I'm sitting with a cop. Can't do that at all. That's a no-no. But that's the story for me. And that was a great ball game here by the Lady Lynx. 111-48 your final here in game number 1 at LCU. Like I mentioned, it was all Lady Lynx from the tip. And ever since this game started, Smith with some good shots to get things going. Like I mentioned, everybody played well in this ball game all the way down, even to Gines and Lawling. They had their fair share of points in this ball game, and it was a pretty big breeze for this Lady Lynx squad. And I do like the sportsmanship that we're showing right here. I think they're going to have a prayer at center court with both teams holding hands. So good sportsmanship by Coach Crawford and Coach Lowry on both sides of the coaching floor, and they spread out throughout. So they will have a quick moment of prayer. But your Lynx do win 111-48 in game number 1, and like I said, it was all Lynx from the jump, and it was a good bounce back win. They actually improved now to 9-6 on the season, as LCU falls to 2-11, and your Lynx now riding a 3-game winning streak. Like I mentioned, their next ball game will be again Saturday. Hopefully it'll be Saturday. I know there's a lot of weather pending on that one. We're supposed to get a big snowstorm and stuff. Hopefully Indiana Northwest will be able to come down for that ball game, but like I said, we'll have to see if they can get here first. Thank you so much on the stats. Real quick before we let you go, as leading the way here was Kalia Montero, and she had 30 points, 23 rebounds in that ball game. So big game from her. Congrats. Followed by Young had 19, Cameron had 18, Clark had 15, Amani Smith had 11, and Kennedy Lawling had 15, along with Gines just 3. But like I said, Gines had 6 rebounds, though, so good news for her. But that's going to do it all here for me. We will see you in about 20 minutes for game number 2 as your 7-12 men's Lynx team will take on LCU. They are 3-12, so another favorite here for the Lynx. We'll see if they can pull it out. They saw game number 1 go their way. 111-48 was your final. I'm Nick Jackson signing off, and we will see you in about 20 minutes for game number 2.
Lincoln College basketball on 89X has been made possible by Grouse Chevrolet Buick, ME Realty, and by the State Bank of Lincoln.